This is the audio commentary for Mindfield, which is the third track on the Magma EP. And actually, a little bit of background behind Mindfield. We wrote the song like super early on in 2017 because we had to do an acoustic set for Baybeats. And like from Implosions, we didn't really have many songs that could be acoustified. So Ernest and I wrote two new songs, and one of them was Mindfield. So Ernest, this is the amalgamation of the acoustic song to full band.
Yeah, it's like born out of necessity, I guess. But yeah, I guess like in that moment where you have to perform like more songs, so kind of dig deep and like dig deep into what you can like search within and write something from there. And I guess in that year especially, I don't know, a lot of things were happening. I think both with like family and acquaintances. So I think you can sense from the lyrics that it was coming in a place of loneliness. So I mean, if you look at the lyrics, it's not very difficult to kind of like decode it or whatever. So yeah, starts off with a minor and have lots of nines in there. Don't know what it's good to say, but yeah, I just knew that I'm being a guitar player. I wanted to accentuate my guitar tone a little bit more than usual. Thus, you will see that in the later parts of the song, I think the guitar part acts, or the solo acts more like a voice rather than a guitar actually. Yeah, yes. It's more of like someone trying to like rant out, but in a very melodical way rather than an angry way, you know. Yeah, I think it's more like, Great Gig in the Sky by Pink Floyd. Yeah, it's kind of like that as a reference.
It feels like you're crying out, but you are also like, you feel relieved after crying out, right?
Yes, yeah. That kind of thing.
Yeah,
and as far as bass line goes, I think I was like listening to a bit of disco back then. So like, even though it's like a sad-ish song, it's kind of still gonna bob your head to it somehow. Like, yeah, it just occurred to me that wouldn't it be interesting to merge these two like things together, like dancey but like a sad vibe also. So yeah,
I really like how we ended up simplifying the drum beat to just snare and hi-hat at the same time.
Yeah,
instead of having it like on the hi-hat on every other beat.
Yeah, because that was our like kind of original plan, right? To have it like constantly, and then it's like it's kind of not like distracting a bit. So yeah, remove that, and it worked out, right?
Yeah.
I hope.
Yeah. And yes, for today we have Adwin with us from Technica. He has been supporting us with all the microphones that we used to record this EP. So just to say, like, for this particular song, all the songs, I think we used the AT4047 and the AT5047.
Wow.
Both flagship mics, and like we put them side by side. And for different songs, we found like some of them we wanted a more brighter sound, some of them we wanted a darker sound. So we ended up using both. They are equally great for like specific use cases. Right. Yeah.
That's definitely happy to hear that you have the flexibility of both, and you actually are able to identify which works better. And even for your layering of any of the backup vocals or for certain parts of the song, I think you identified that very well.
Yeah, I think for backup vocals we were using the BP40 to record backups and vocal doubles. All and right. For the drum set, of course, we were decked out in like full AT mics, and awesome. We were using Pantheon kit, and we were using, for overheads especially, we have like this thing that we just want to get our overheads being not bright and just there present. So we tried this 3 overhead miking technique, which is 250-45s on the left and right, and then we had the 4081 ribbon mic in the center, and all of them had to be measured equidistant from the snare.
I see.
So we spent like a few hours getting all of it right, and I believe like in this song and in some songs, all of the configurations for the mics were different, but like using all the mics and having all of them at our disposal was great lah.
Wow. I'm happy to hear that, and you know the techniques you guys all created is impressive, because usually from a old school pure engineer way, you know, who might not have so much of a musical background, might be just doing the traditional thing that they do in school. But I keep hearing, I see you guys trying something so unique every time. It's like, whoa, what is that? You know, and surprisingly it works. You know, I hear a lot of it, and just now the image I saw, the 50-45, the overhead mics, right, was not like the traditional in front of drummer left and right. It's actually like diagonal front and back, something like this, and then the ribbon is off center, something like, right. It's like, wow, you know, usually people don't do that, so it's very fascinating.
We kind of treat like all the microphones as ears lah, and how like if you were a human being, how would you listen to a drum set in the best stereo image possible. Of course, now we are going into like surround sound, but that's for future kind of recording technique. But yeah, I think working with AT has really been an eye opener in terms of like getting the sound that we want, getting, you know, a huge dynamic of like entry level mics all the way to like flagship mics. We use for toms, I think we were using the ATM 230s, which are great tom mics, and they are so affordable.
That's right.
And of course the flagship mic, the 5047, is like, I don't know when I can ever afford that for myself, but you know, it really sounds like you already mix the song when you are singing with it. Yeah.
Okay.
It's that special.
It captures the voice and the tone that you need at the start already. It's almost there, right?
Yes.
That's what it is.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, and I'm quite interested to know like how you guys want to like promote different microphones to different kinds of musicians. And I know like not many bands record drums also, but what kind of other things have you been doing to
get it
put
out
the AT
there, right?
brand out there?
I think working closely with Bakers and Space, as well as the producer James Lai, has really brought our presence here in Singapore really by a lot. So how often do you get a whole band, you know, experimenting all the microphones, bringing it out there? So, you know, when this comes out, it sounds awesome, it sounds fantastic, and then, you know, we actually know what is being done because you guys know what you're doing, and then we can actually share it with other musicians, with other engineers, like, hey, check out, do you know this mic can actually sound this way? It's a certain impression some people might have, like, oh, this is only, let's say, only for kick in. But what if you do it for something different? Like, for example, I've seen before, like, you put the ribbons on the outside of a kick drum, right? Those kind of techniques, and then we know, and we work closely with musicians and engineers like yourself. We can actually apply it the same with others in future as well. So, you know, should up and coming band want to in-house record themselves everything, right? And then you know, we actually can actually give them advice. What other ways that because we've also been exposed all the different creative ways, right? So I think in that direction, helping out musicians, we'll still go towards that way to support them. And of course, this is mostly in the studio, right? For a live situation, of course, if you can get as creative as possible when live gigs do come back, we will definitely want to try out unique stuff with other musicians. And importantly, I think when there's a producer involved, the producer with an engineer background, you know, we need to connect with them. We need to share with them, you know, different things. They might have a certain impression of a certain microphone brand or microphone sound. So I think we just have to keep on going with these techniques of creatively working with many different kind of musicians of all kinds of genres, and then who knows what we can find from there. Like we have actually another vocal mic. It's not here right now, called the AE5400. It's impressively that it's a handheld condenser mic, which usually shouldn't be used on a live stage, but we've seen it being used by world famous metal bands live, right? And that very same mic can be used for a operatic singer, right? Things like this. So that flexibility shows us. Sorry.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, right. The operatic thing is such a big contrast from metal music, right? So this is education for the market to know, like, hey, I'm looking for a vocal mic, but it's only meant for Chinese pop. I cannot use that mic for anything else. That kind of thing. No. We found out that that's not true at all, right? So when I approach a singer who is maybe just going to be singing very sentimental music, I could be giving them a mic that's previously used by a hard rock singer. It could work something like that. Or vice versa for drums. A metal drummer, and then his same drum setup could actually be used. I think the same drum mics could be used for a jazz drummer. Things like this could work. So we got to keep on educating the market to open their eyes with that lah.
Yeah, it's very good that you can be like this middleman that is kind of like sharing all this knowledge from one musician to another. Of course, like people that we ourselves don't even know. You are in contact with so many musicians. So like thank you very much for doing all this and being so supportive of the music industry in Singapore. And thank you for coming here today.
Same for me. Thank you so much to Bakers in Space and James for supporting us so many years closely, and continuing to all your projects be involved with our gear and our headphones. Just like today's one, we're trying out a new setup with like shotgun mics in front of us, kind of thing. So it's a very different kind of approach. So very interesting. My mind is always blown when I work with you guys.
Thank you very much. And this brings the end to our episode of Mindfield. Thank you for listening.